Today, I'm going to show you how you can 2 to 10x your marketing returns just with super simple Facebook retargeting ads. We've cut lead costs in half and increased the return on ad spend by 3x in the same campaign with this super simple method. And later in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create and film these ads in under 1 hour while increasing the odds that every potential customer opts in and ultimately buys from you. Right? But first off, you have to understand what most people do when they go into the sales cycle. What happens typically is most of the time they see your stuff, right? And this might mean they go to your website. It might mean they see your ad and they might think it's good. They might not. But then what happens is life happens. Someone else catches their attention, their kid calls them, anything like that, or they don't want to do it right now, or maybe they want to do it right now, but they're not really sold on you guys, right? So what happens? They don't buy. And this is the exact same scenario when someone opts in, right? They opt in, they get a little busy, you don't nurture them enough, you don't hound them enough, so they don't buy. They don't see a reason to buy. Same thing, maybe they get on the conversation or something was off. They don't have enough social proof. They don't know who to choose between. They decide to defer it. So what happens? They don't buy. Most people go in through here, which is nice. But as you can see right here, there are 3 huge drop-off points here, here, and here. And there's maybe more that prevent people from buying, right? And here's the thing. They subconsciously kind of already want to buy when you do this. You can take people who are not necessarily sold or not sold on you when you do this properly. Think of it like this. Every person has their own buyer cycle, right? And you have to kind of force them to go through the buyer cycle because they might not do it to make a decision, because a decision for them might mean not doing anything. It's like you're trying to make someone walk through a forest, right? If you don't set up a good path, what are they going to do? They're going to veer off. They're going to get lost. They might turn around. But if you want them to reach like a cabin in the middle of the forest, you got to make sure that the obstacles are cleared. There's a nice little dirt path for them to follow, and it's easy, right? The easier you make it for people to buy, the more likely they buy. Here's where retargeting ads fit in. What happens is if they visit your site, if they watch your ad, if they visit your social media page, if they call you, if they click on the ad, and whether or not they buy or don't buy, you still need to nurture them. But what happens is if they don't buy, right, then they might opt in just by showing them something else. You might show them an objection and handle the objection. You might show some social proof. You might answer questions they have. They might feel a bit more confident as they get to know you, right? You might educate them a bit more. And this comes in the exact same way in multiple different paths of the sales sequence, right? If they've opted in, they might need more social proof, or they might need their questions answered, right? Or they might need, like if they're here and they're having the conversation, they might need to see content on how like common objections are. Maybe they have a common misbelief. Like for example, I don't see a need to go with the premium route. Well, the premium route saves you 3x over the long run, so you might as well do it, right? Or it's just something where it makes them more likely to know, like, and trust you at the end of the day, right? Same thing. You want to do this even after they buy. Why? Because this is where the sales starts. The people who check you out the most and look at you the most are the people who bought. Why? 2 things. 1, they want confirmation. 2, they want to actually know if you did a good job or not. And what this can do is this can also pre-frame their expectations so they're more likely to have a good experience and more likely to leave a review. What this also could do is make it more likely your employees like working with you guys. And because you get more referrals from this too, it's going to make it so that your unit economics are way better, so you have a way better business to grow, because one customer from retargeting ads, because you properly nurtured them, because you properly indoctrinated them, if you get 3 customers out of that, great. You got 2 more customers for 0 cost. And the thing is, these only cost $2 to $5 per day to set it up, and they're not hard to build. You can build this in an afternoon or even an hour or so. The first thing you need is you need to capture and set up the trigger points with your infrastructure, right? There's going to be a few main ones. It's mainly these. If you have existing ads, do this. You can link your CRM. You can view your site. You can view the social page. I'll show you how to set up the CRM in a second. But for the most part, how it works is Meta's Pixel, right, which is this thing right here. You can kind of use this little Chrome extension, Meta Pixel Helper, to see if it exists on anywhere. You can see if they have it linked to the site. And there are some alternatives. Miro's a big company, so I know they have an alternative to this. But if you want to pass data directly back to Facebook, if they viewed it or if they opted in, this is the easiest way to do it. And as you can see right here, there's a lot of ways to do it. Website is a good one for website. You can set up and link your website. We have ours set up like this. I'll just show you real quick. If it loads, that'd be cool. Just like this. So it's green. So it passes back when they view the page, just like this. You can also set it up for the Instagram account, which I would do, the Facebook page, which I would do, lead form if you're already running ads, I would do, or just anything for video. You can also set it up just for like a customer list or an offline activity. And how you want to do it, like all of these, this one, you do have to set up like a little line of code. There's plenty of YouTube videos out for that. It's not too hard. But what you want to do for the harder one, which is the customer list, if you get people to call you and you put their info in the CRM, you can set up this little automation right here. We have this for when people book a call, but the exact same principle applies if you have it like this. What you want to do, we use make.com. You can use Calendly, you can use Service Titan, you can use Go High Level, whatever it is, it should be able to do this. You need to set up the, like for example, if they enter into the CRM, you can set it up so it's like detect new lead, and then just like this. This is how you set up the Facebook. You add your Facebook connection right here, you make sure it's linked to here, and then you create the custom audience inside of Facebook through here. Like you have to name it first, and then you link it to here, and then you just put their email, and then you hit OK. That's gonna be good to do that. That's kind of all you need. And then outside of that, the only other portion like you actually have to do is just make sure it's running. Do a little test run yourself, like just right click on your initial one, test the event, and do that for this one too, and you should be good. Outside of that, when you link it, you want to link it to an existing or create a new ad campaign, right? When you do this, when you do, there's a couple of different ways to do this. There isn't, but you can do all the normal ad settings if you already have existing ad campaigns up. The only one you want to do is just make sure it's awareness for this, right? And then how we do it on the ad set portion, the only thing you have to do is you have to do custom audience to these audiences and turn off Advantage Plus audience, because what Advantage Plus audience will do, it will create and capture people who they think might be interested but are not interested. And because the strategy with this is to absolutely bombard them with propaganda, you do not want to kind of show this to people who have not shown that they're interested. The goal with this is to get them to see this on average of 10 to 15 times throughout the course of a couple of weeks or a month, right? The reason why is because when they're making their buying decision, they might make it in a day, they might make it in 2 days, they might make it in 10 days, right? You need to get as much info to them as possible. And what you're going to do with this content is you are going to create these 5 buckets, right? Social proof. You should have videos of happy clients. You can also take screenshots of reviews. You can also take screenshots of emails. You can also kind of mix those with before and after. Anything to show that you do a good job. Education. If there are common misconceptions on your service, you need to address that, right? You need to kind of have a way for them to think the same way you do, right? You also need a way for them to get to know you. This is kind of done with just by seeing you a bunch, but if you have specific things you do on your project management side or your admin side, that's another great way to do it as well. You can also do like framing as well, where it's this is how it needs to be done. We are the expert, those kinds of beliefs. You can also do objection handling, right? That's another good one. Common objections, you want to get in front of it. You don't want to do stuff where it's like, oh, this is too expensive. A good example of objection handling could be something like, it's winter. Now is the best time to get a new kitchen, right? If an objection is like, or if something that an objection is like, oh, it's not the right time to do it because it's winter. It's like, no, now's the best time to do it because of X and Y and Z, right? And then what you do, that increases the odds of buying. And I'm gonna put one other thing here, bombard them, right? You only need like $5 a spend per day max. And what this does, because you have a combination of awareness, which gets you super cheap views, and also to the right people, and also showing them the right stuff, ultimately it makes it so that they buy, or so they're more likely to buy, right? This is a super simple thing we implement on our 20-day test drive for all of our clientele. If that's something you would like us to implement and create for you, and you want to take advantage of our 20-day test drive, it's pretty simple. If you have existing ads, you do not have to pay anything out of pocket. Just keep paying your normal ads. We will run it for free. If you do not, you might have to pay something to Google and Facebook, right, in order for us to get this done. So if this is of interest, then click the link below, book in a time to speak with us, and we'll see you there.